Naomi, episode 3, 0 to 60. It's your boy Icon with DC TV. Now, we are still on the search for answers. Like, the girl knows that she's an alien. She knows that she has powers. And though I did say it was very refreshing to finally see somebody not go through like the usual superhero tropes of discovering themselves, for a teenage high school student, she kind of like embraced the power thing way too quickly. And she's just like, yeah, I'm an alien, I have powers. And it's like, it's all good. And I'm like, it's really not. But again, she's still seeking answers. So she goes down to the Thanagarian, and, he's trying to help her. He's trying to teach her. He's trying to train her, to help focus so she can better utilize her power. So he's got her like bouncing the tennis balls or whatever, but her mind is still fixated on trying to discover like the information on the disc and to get more information about who she is and where she comes from. It's officially college week at her school. So all the kids, they're having college interviews, and they're supposed to, like talk to certain representatives and then try to pick like the schools that they're supposed to go to. So she has that she has to deal with as well. And her parents are super excited about it because her parents want her to go to a specific school. So she's trying to juggle the college thing, but she's also trying to figure out the hieroglyphic thing at the same time. But in order for her to continue to do that, she needs the disc, and the disc is, it's in the hands of the black dude that owns the car shop. So she has to also figure out a plan in order to get that. And speaking of the black dude, he had a conversation with this new character, this white lady, and she's an alien too. The two of them are from the same planet. And he told her, he was just like, oh, I want you on my team. And then she was just like, I hate you. I hate this planet. I hate the air. I hate the food. But she was just like, why did you call me? Because I guess she thought he was there to kill her, because she was just like, oh, you've already lost the element of surprise by bringing me here. But he was just like, no, he said that I found the disc. And not only did I find the disc, he's like, I also found the girl. And she was just like, oh, she was like, leave the girl alone. She doesn't understand the power that she possesses. And he was just like, exactly. But he was like, yo, I need you on my team so we can help, we can take this disc and do the things that we're going to do, that he never said what those things were. And then it was odd because this woman does not come across as good. She doesn't come across as being like a nice person. She actually comes across as being extremely evil. But she flat out told the black dude, she was like, leave the girl alone. And I was just like, really? Like, she was like, leave the girl alone or whatever. And then she was just like, oh, what you're planning, it's not going to work, and I'll have no part of it. And then, then she got she grabbed her furry dog, put her sunglasses on, and she walked away. Naomi now, in order for her to get the disc, her and her friend, her best friend, they ended up coming up with this elaborate scheme to distract the dude from the car garage long enough. Well, I said car garage, from the car dealership long enough for them to break into his office and steal the disc. And that's exactly what they did. So they were able to get him out of the room. They go into his office. Naomi breaks into the safe. She takes the disc, and then they run. They later find out now, the third dude, they find out that and again, because it's college week, they're also supposed to be visiting different colleges as well. One of the colleges that the school was supposed to be visiting had the necessary equipment that they could use to analyze the information on the disc. So although Naomi had no plans on going to that school at all, she still took the tour, so that way she can sneak off the tour and she can go, try to like decipher like the hieroglyphics. Now, here's where the Scooby Gang comes back into play, because it was just supposed to be Naomi and her friend, but they ended up bringing like the nerdy white kid along because he's the only one that knows how to analyze stuff and knows how to operate the analyzation equipment. I don't know how he knows how to do that, but apparently he knows how to do that. Because when they were on the tour, Naomi said, I need a distraction. She was like, we need a distraction so that way we can go downstairs or go to the room or whatever so we can analyze the information. Like the best friend, she was like, I'm not going because like I'm your sidekick and I'm supposed to be here at all times. The nerdy white dude wasn't going because he was like, listen, I need to analyze the disc when we actually get down there. So then they pulled up on the light-skinned black dude, and then they were just like, hey, can you create a diversion for us, so we can go do something else? And then he was like, hell no. He said, because this tour is boring. He's like, I'm not going to this school, and if you guys are ditching the tour to do something, I'm going with y'all because what we doing here, this ain't it. So then now they ended up asking the other kid, who's completely useless, but the only purpose he serves is that he likes her. And then they asked him, they were just like, oh, can you cover for us? And he was like, hell no, because he was like, I'm not going to business school here. This tour is whack. So now And then, so then they were just like, then Naomi was just like, well, everybody can't go. She was like, somebody has to cover for us. And then the purple hair girl showed up out of nowhere. And then she was just like, oh, although I got my GED, she was like, I go here to check on like an advisor for something, some information. So she was basically, they came up with a reason for her to be there too. And I'm like, the show, the show has a hilariously unrealistic way of getting all these kids together at the same time to do some weird ass mission. And it was just like, as I'm watching it unfold, I'm like, it's only a matter of time before like Scooby and the gang comes back together. So now Jinkies, we've got a mystery to solve. So nobody creates a distraction. They all go to the wing or the room or the scientific lab. I don't know where they knew where it was. They go downstairs. They try to analyze the disc. The machine that they were using to analyze the disc I guess it overheats, and the whole damn machine explodes and starts a fire at the college. They're all in trouble now. Everybody's busted. They call Naomi's mama. Everybody's parents get called. And Naomi's mom told her flat out, she was like, you're not even going to that school. She was like, why would you take their tour? And then she was like, oh, I was just going with my friends. And then the mom was like, listen, she was like, I'm very disappointed in you, which is worse than getting in trouble. And then she told her, she was like, listen, she's like, your father and I need to talk to you, and we want you home by 6 o'clock. So now Naomi ends up going back to the Thanagarian dude. She was like, I'm sorry, but I have to figure out the hieroglyphics. And then she was like, I need to know my destiny and what's going on. So then like the Thanagarian, he said, well, I have a friend that might be able to help with that. They go and talk to the friend, and the friend, he's also an alien, and he has the power to be able to detect energy in other people. So he takes Naomi by the hands, and he was just like, oh, I can sense the power within you. And then he said that you're connected to the stone. He's like, the disc, you and the disc are connected. But the reason why the disc at the school didn't work for you was because that was a fake. It was basically like a transmutation that the black dude had created to throw you off the scent. And then when we kick back to the black dude, he put in his safe, he had a secret compartment in his safe where he stashed the real disc, and he left a fake one there for Naomi to find. And then she was just like, no, that can't be. And he was just like, it is. But the guy did say that there was like a stone that could translate those hieroglyphics for her if only she can get her hands on it. So now she's trying to come up with a way, for her to get her hands on this translation stone. But then because she was doing the stuff with the Thanagarian, and because she was doing all this running around, she didn't make it home in time by 6 o'clock. And then her parents got mad and they grounded her. And then she was just like, she's like, you've never grounded me before. She's like, you've always treated me like an adult. Why all of a sudden are things different now? I'm like, because you're flat out lying to our faces. There was even a moment where they asked her dead ass. They were just like, what were you doing all day, and why didn't you make it home by 6? And then she lied, and she was like, oh, I was with the purple haired girl. And they were just like, really? Because she called about an hour ago looking for you. And I'm just like, just tell them at just tell them at this point. Like, I don't understand why she was holding on to because the thing is, even if she does eventually find the answers that she wants, it's not like you can hide that from them forever. So it's like, just tell them and get it over with. And then she was just like, oh, why are you guys not treating me like an adult? Because you're lying. Like, you started lying, like bold-faced lying. So then they ground her. They take her cell phone, they take her cell phone. And then they tell her to go upstairs to her room and finish her essay to get her into the school that they want her to go to. While she's doing the essay, the purple hair girl shows up, and then she apologized. The two of them had a nice little conversation. The purple hair girl said that, that her dad had gotten into an accident. He lost his job, and then she had to leave school early to help support the family. That's why she got her GED. And then I don't know why she didn't go with her afterwards, because then after that, Naomi had found the place where the translation stone was, and then her best friend ended up going with her. I don't know why the purple hair girl didn't go with her to the thing, because she was in the room with her the whole time. So her and her best friend, they go to the place where the translation stone is. They go downstairs. Naomi starts translating, the information. But in order for her to get to the stone, she had to use her power to remove the rocks that was covering the stone. When she moved the rocks, she started translating it a little bit, but then before she had a chance to really translate it, the whole place started coming down, and her friend barely made it out alive. So then after that, like, dejected and defeated, she goes back to the Thanagarian, and then she apologized to him because he told her in the beginning, he was like, don't try to seek those answers yet. He was like, you're not ready. He was like, do more training, focus on your powers, focus on your training, and then we'll worry about all the other stuff. But of course, she's impulsive, so she didn't listen to him and she did what she wanted to do. So then she came back with her tail between her legs, and she apologized to him for not listening to him to begin with. So then he accepted her apology, and then, the two of them talked a little bit more, and then he was just like, listen, he was like, the answers you seek, will come before you. You just have to be patient, and in the meantime, just focus on your training. So that's what she's going to do now. She's basically just going to focus on her training because there's really nothing else she can do at this point. So then she goes back home, and then she sees her parents again, and then, the next morning, it was like the next day, the next morning, when she was talking to her parents, and then she apologized, and she was like, oh, I love you guys so much, and you're important to me. And then that's when her dad finally came out, and he was like, listen, the reason why we wanted you home by 6, the reason why we were acting crazy, the reason why we want you off these streets is because the government, the army, the military, they're hunting aliens, and we don't want you to get crossed up in that. And then she was like, well, now see, the thing is, she knows that she's an alien, but she doesn't know that her parents know that she's an alien. So then her parents was just like, oh, come with us for a second. They take her to the forest, not to kill her. They take her to the forest, and when they take her to the forest, there's like a stone that's on the ground. And then she was like, what's this? When Naomi touched it, it lit up. And then her parents said, this was the place where we found you when you were a baby. Because like I said, her parents been lying to her from day one. And now the truth is going to come out to the point where they're going to tell her like her origin story, how they found her and like all this other stuff. And how much does the actual army know about it? Or did the parents just find her like Clark Kent's parents did and just take her in and not say anything? So we'll see about that. And then in the end, like the black dude, he went to the white chick like one more time, and then he was just like, oh, I have the answers. He's like, the girl's here. He's like, everything's here. He was like, join my team, so we can do big things. And I don't know if she's gonna join him or not, but we'll see what happens in the next episode. And I do want to know what's going on with all this alien shit, because it's not like it's one specific race of aliens. There are different types of aliens here. Like, what does a Thanagarian have to do with her species? Why did the black dude and the white girl, because they even made a mention about them getting kicked off their planet because she was like, we can never go back to our planet. And I'm like, why can't you go back to your planet? Like, what happened? And as a matter of fact, it's his fault because she said, thanks to you, we can never go back. So I'm like, did your planet get destroyed? Did you guys like cast out of society? Like, are you Naomi's real parents? It's like, I don't know. But in the weeks and days to come, we will find out. But that was it for this particular episode, and thank you for tuning in. So like I said, it's very interesting. Like I'm really like waiting to get to the point where her powers like truly manifest and she gets her costume. But I know it's a slow burn, so we just gotta like bear with it and and just like take everything as it goes. Like the whole thing with the team, with the 7 people on her team is like killing me. Like that whole thing is killing me. Her friends still get on my nerves calling her babe every 13 seconds. But like I said, overall this show is good. I'm still down for it, and I can't wait to check it. I can't wait to check out more as weeks to come. So like I said, thanks for tuning in. Hit me up on Twitter and Instagram, always on YouTube. Let me know what you think about Naomi so far, what your questions, comments, and or concerns are. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because we got other superhero videos coming up, Peacemakers coming up. We got Legends of Tomorrow. We got Batwoman. Superman and Lois is already on the channel, and we're still doing Naomi. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So till next week for Naomi, take care, fight the power, and until then, I'm out this bitch.